Welcome to the Guys Podcast. This is your host, Chris Poole. Just want to give you a quick thank you for checking us out. We'll be releasing content weekly, so check us out on all streaming platforms. And if you have any questions, remember to email us at theguyspodcast@aol.com. Enjoy the show.
What is going on, everybody? It's the Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Caleb, and welcome back to this episode. The Guys Podcast is where a group of guys just get together. We discuss topics that we care about. That's sports, gaming, pop culture, and relationships. If you have any questions for us, you can email us at theguyspodcast@AOL. Yes, I said AOL.com. On this week, we're going to be talking about college basketball. We're going to be talking about, is gaming a waste of time? One of the questions we have is, who is the most overrated entertainer of all time? And also, we're going to be talking about relationships and about marriage. As always, there's going to be a one gotta go at the end of the episode. Thank you for joining us, and let's get into it. So for the first question, we'll start with sports, and we're going to talk about college basketball top 25. Gavon, we'll start with you. Who's your college basketball top 25?
Well, this year's top 25 is absolutely crazy. There's a bunch of teams that you normally do not see in your top 10, and I think it's cool to see something like that. For the simple fact is, you don't see those powerhouse teams that you're normally seeing there, and which I think last year when Zion was on the team, Duke had I might be saying this wrong, but they had a certain amount of like the top recruits in the nation all go to Duke, and it's kind of sad to see. It's because like you want to see that talent kind of spread out and see these new teams get a chance to compete and go far and have these top recruit players like Loyola, or how do you say that college?
Loyola Chicago?
Yeah, they went far last year, and it was like, man, like that's where this team come from. But I don't know, it's cool to see new teams get some recognition in the top 10 or top 25. I do not have a top 25 list in front of me right now, but I'm pretty sure that like our top, like Duke and Kentucky, they're kind of lower down on the list, and we don't see those teams. But you know what, let me go ahead. I'm pass
Duke
it off
6.
to somebody else.
Kentucky is 10.
My list says Duke is 6. Yeah.
So, Ed, let's go to you.
Yeah, man. Like Kevon said, I think that's crazy. Like, who would have thought Baylor would have been number 1? Like, pretty good, pretty crazy. And then they got San Diego State at number 4, and they're the only team that's undefeated right now.
What? Who's that? San Diego?
San Diego State.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, there is some. I'm looking at the AP top 25 poll right now, and there is some normal teams that are up there, like Gonzaga and Kansas, Duke 6, but like you have teams like Baylor, like you said, San Diego State, Dayton, Florida State, Maryland, Penn State. They're usually a basketball school, right?
More
really,
football.
Right? That's what I'm saying. So you got them in the top 10. Kentucky's a basketball school. Louisville's a basketball school. Villanova's a basketball school. Then you have Auburn. I don't know, man. This is a weird looking top 25, and I do not follow college basketball that much. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of it, but I know this isn't really normal to see, and it's kind of crazy. And I don't see Wisconsin, so it's kind of sad.
So my take on it is, I really could care less about college sports. I'm just being real. I could care less. I don't follow college sports. And one of the main reasons is because, I mean, they don't give the players what I think is right by them. Like, they make billions of dollars off these players every year. And they don't pay them anything. And then when they do try to get help from like coaches and things like that to help get cars and stuff like this, they get fined and they can't go to the league and all this other stuff. So like, until they start doing right by these college players, I could really care less about college sports, college football, basketball. Like, I really don't care. And like,
I know this is a separate argument, Caleb. I agree with you, but we can't take anything away from the players because they only have one choice to go within the confines of what's available to them. So I mean, I agree with you in the fact that it's kind of like a system that's not fair to the players. That could be a different debate for a different show. But I think that we have to give credit to the players that are just going out there and hooping.
Yeah, and but like I'm gonna follow up on what he's saying, not the fact of why he dislikes college sports. I just don't get into college sports. It's because I just can't find like I just can't associate with it. I don't like it. I mean, I do root for Wisconsin just because I'm from Wisconsin, but it's just new teams or new players every year. It's a new team every year. It's kind of hard to find like follow a team that's always getting switched up. But then again, you follow teams like Duke and you follow teams like Kentucky that are always getting these top recruits, and it's like you're just kind of sitting there watching them. What can their top recruit do? And they usually get all those one and done guys, so their team is switching up like crazy every single year too. But what I will say, like behind that, I think a lot of people do enjoy college sports for the simple fact is everybody in college is hungry, bro. They're playing for a purpose. They're playing to get to the next level. They're playing to showcase themselves and get to the NBA, which translates into just better production, better, more a more competitive game. You know what I mean? So it's like you got these two teams that they're going at it, bro. They're gonna be playing hard. They're gonna be playing super fundamental. They're gonna be playing great defense. They're gonna be trying to show everything that they can show about themselves to why they need to be in the next level. And that's just a plus for college sports.
Yeah, I'll go. I honestly don't follow it either, so my defense of it was just simply to give the credit to the players. But just looking at the top 25, like Kavan said, it's like insane to see that there's so many teams that typically aren't in the picture. Like Dayton, Division One school, obviously that like I've been to, and it's not very big. Like to see that a small town school can be number 5 team in the nation is insane. Maryland, who is always hit or miss, it's good to see them up there. Obviously, gotta give a shout out to Arizona at 24. They struggle.
U of H.
I don't really care about U of H. It's about U of A over here. You feel me? Arizona,
But
going
I'm just
all
saying,
the
like,
way.
it's crazy. Come on, man. We know you. You know you over there working at. We know you
You
working.
gotta get a little job at Arizona, and every team don't matter.
Nah, they going all the way. So they
Hey,
until
where's
they
A&M?
Texas A&M, yeah, they didn't even receive votes. Stephen F. Austin though got some votes, which is crazy to see. But they're usually right there in the tournament because they win their conference. So we'll see
That's
it.
what's up though. That your school's up there. That's kind of crazy.
The thing about Arizona is they're supposed to be higher. They were preseason like top 15, and they just had some really bad losses to Oregon State. But they've slowly been working their way back up. So hopefully they'll make the tournament.
So you said we have an undefeated team.
Yep, San Diego State,
Only
And
one.
what are they?
number 4,
26 and they're number 4.
which is insane.
So yeah, see that's another reason why I don't like college sports because I don't understand
The
how
ranking
they do the
system.
rankings, and I guess it's strength of schedule, but
It's
what, I don't
I
understand.
think it's
what it
based off
means.
points.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure it's
I
based
don't
off
know.
points.
It's a vote system that translates to points.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I have no clue. I don't know. It's a good topic. I think a lot of people probably are interested in stuff like this, but I'm just not a big college sports guy. I don't. I mean, there's like I don't. There's nothing wrong with college sports. I like it. I like the
I watch
idea of it and stuff.
I watch
but-
anything.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I say I don't.
What I'll
I
say-
don't go out my way to watch it, but if it's on, I will definitely watch and I can get into it.
Come on, what about this? What if you would say the non-major sports are more exciting for college? So like football,
Yeah.
basketball are locked up, but like if you're watching softball or like soccer,
Yeah.
like track and
Volleyball.
field, like all that stuff, I feel like at the college level is prime because there really isn't that next. Like there is a next level, but it's not so mainstream where
Yeah.
one and done. So they got really good players coming out of like baseball, softball, the women's sports, obviously. So I think it's more exciting to go to those games in person. I'm just
It
not.
is, and I like college softball because they get it in,
Yeah.
and it gets competitive. I love competitive sports, and that was another thing too. Like at Wisconsin, Wisconsin doesn't have a lot of one and done players. So when you look at Duke's roster, like we all know Zion's going there to get his 1 year in, and he's gonna dip. We knew the same thing was gonna happen with Ja. We knew the same thing was gonna happen with Buddy from New York.
Mhm.
So it's like, bro, like you know what I mean? I don't know, and I feel like a lot of these number one players, if I was a number one kid in the nation, bro, or a top prospect, I'll try to take my talents either home or, try to give another team a shot, bro. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
to a different program and make a name for myself. I'm not just gonna just commit to Duke because it's Duke. I'm not just gonna commit to Kentucky because it's Kentucky. I want to go to somewhere else where I can, make my own name for myself and make that my new alumni and bring my alumni's name up in this basketball talk, like a Duke or a Kentucky.
That's like how what's the name did? What's his name? Chris K. Felder or whatever.
But that then again goes into the money aspect of it. Like you're not going to get as much publicity
and that's true.
Much high profile because Duke is where all the money's at. That's where.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, that's fair enough. But Zion could have went to Whitewater, and every game would have been sold out, and he still would have been on national TV playing games.
But would he be number one though?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Yes.
No matter where Zion went, he was going number one.
He was going number one. Yeah, 100%. I'll give one more shout out. It just so happens that today I went to a Whitewater wheelchair basketball game today in Arizona, so I just want to give a shout out to Whitewater women's wheelchair basketball. I doubt anybody would. They were playing at Arizona.
Isn't a couple of those players on the Olympic basketball team?
In Whitewater, I'm not sure. The coach for Whitewater on the men's side was like a gold medalist and the captain, but that was probably 2016 and 2012. In 2012, he was known as like the best player in the world, from what I was told. So,
well, when they came to the Boys and Girls Club for a fundraiser, a lot of them were introducing themselves, and they had players from all over the place. They had a dude from Australia. They had a dude come from England on the team. It was crazy, bro. And a lot of them played in the Olympics. It was I was like, dang, from Whitewater, and they said they had one of the best wheelchair basketball teams in the nation.
They're
in the world.
Consistently top tier. But yeah, I had them.
So do we have any final thoughts on this topic?
Dave?
My little input on college basketball, I'm the same way. I more so get into, I get into college football. But if I'm watching college basketball, it's really when Wisconsin's doing well. So that's how this year's going for me. So in the top 24, so I haven't been paying attention. But if they're doing really good, then I watch a lot of it.
But it does get lit, though.
Yeah, it does.
It does in March. In March, it does.
March, exactly. When March comes around, I'll turn it on. I'll definitely be watching that.
Yeah.
But,
it is fun. I'm not giving enough credit to college basketball because I do tune in every March, and I want to, because like last year, like when they were I always say the school name wrong. Loyola. All right. Well, anyways, when they were going crazy,
come on, I worked at Loyola.
I know, bro. I was rooting for him, and I was like, man, I'm trying to see something. I like seeing those Cinderella stories, bro. I love it. I love seeing them top schools get beat down, bro.
No,
it was like he was saying Wisconsin was doing good for those couple of years too, Dave, and it was kind of lit. But that kind of plays in the fact where Wisconsin's not known for a lot of one and done players. So we had a bunch of seniors going against Duke that had 3 starting freshmen.
Right.
So it's like, man, we have a team of all seniors, not all seniors, but a lot of 3-4 year players going against some 1 year players, and they ended up still losing. I think that was the game that me and you watched together, Chris. I don't know if you remember. I think it was the semifinals. It was Duke versus.
Oh, that was when we was up in
Elkhorn.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to gaming. So for this topic, the question is gaming a waste of time? And unless anybody has a strong opinion on this, let's go to Ant first. So Ant, is gaming a waste of time?
As long as you can pay your bills, eat, take care of your family, no. Now, if you game more than you work, and it has to balance out. I don't think it is personally. I like the game.
All right, Chris, what's your thoughts?
I mean, not at all. Don't think it's a waste of time. What I will say is that it can be a waste of money in the sense that if you are so Madden is a great example. you're
Let's
Madden.
just stick to topic, man. Let's just stick to
No,
the
no.
topic. Now you're bringing
You
my
just
games
wanna-
into this. He's bringing
No,
my
no,
games
no, no,
into
no,
this,
no,
man.
no. I'll give an example. So
I'm
for
just-
Ultimate Team, you're dumping money into it,
Yeah.
which is fine. Like I don't care. Do what you want with your money, but then you lose the value because they keep releasing the game. So in that sense, it's a waste of time because you're grinding for nothing. But if you're just doing it for a sense of enjoyment and relaxation, then it's of course not a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna follow along more so with Ant. It definitely isn't a waste of time, especially if it's something that you enjoy and it's just one of your hobbies. I definitely think it can be a waste of time if you just abuse that. Like if you become to the point where you're not doing anything and you're just really focusing on that and it's not really paying you or doing anything like that. I think definitely it's a waste of time. Unless you're like streaming, you know what I mean, making some bread, some money off of it, then I don't see why you would, you know, you're just devoting your career, you have no social life, not doing anything, you know, not really working, not doing what normal people should be doing. Absolutely, it's a waste of time. But when it's just a hobby, something you enjoy doing, and you know, and you're still being productive and being a citizen, a part of society, then no, I don't think it's a waste of time.
I agree.
Yeah. For everybody watching, I'm gonna let you know everybody in this group right now, apart from Caleb, but Caleb does love his gaming. We are all intense gamers. I mean that we game probably almost every day of the week, if not every other. But what I pulled from your question, you this was your question, right, Caleb? That
Yeah,
you
that's my
put in the
question.
script. So what I pulled from this was, do you think that the time that we put into gaming is it wasteful? Does it not mean anything? So I think that no, because gaming to me is very therapeutic. So if I'm just want to just sit back, relax, and just relieve stress, I'm gonna get on the game. I'm gonna play. But then I do like feel like sometimes like so when I'm grinding on a game and I'm gonna use Need for Speed for example, it's like man, like I kind of think in my head, like how much time is it really going to take for me to achieve this level, and is it even worth doing it? So it's kind of hard for me to like explain it. So, for example, if I'm trying to grind and do races to get enough money to buy another car in the game, I feel like sometimes like that is kind of a waste of time because it's like, is that even fun at that point? Do the same thing over and over again just to get in-game currency, just to buy something, just to then do the same thing over again. So I mean, I feel like some games are a waste of time actually, and I feel like Need for Speed, Chris, had some um, of those characteristics to where it just really wasn't fun. The game was just really repetitive, and it was kind of we were doing the same thing just to do the same thing over again, and kind of translated into yes, being a waste of time. But gaming in general, no, not if you're having fun, not if you're doing it responsibly, like Ant and David said. And if you can balance your life outside of gaming and gaming, you're straight. It's not a waste of time.
Yeah.
But time management is very important though while gaming if you have other priorities.
Yeah. So in my take, I can't really speak on it because I don't really game too much. I mean, I'll game every once in a while. Like if there's something I'm really interested in, I'll give it a try. But like I don't game. I'll maybe game once every couple of weeks, if that. So I can't really say it's a waste of time because I mean I wouldn't be able to properly qualify like what people get out of gaming. But what I will say is like anything like y'all said, if you do put time into it and you're neglecting other things, then it can be a waste of time. It can kind of it can kind of take over your life if you're not careful. Like a lot of people do let it take over what they're supposed to be doing. And people in this form, nobody is really guilty of doing that. But yeah, so like if I'm like I like to make music, so if all I do is make music, I know I'm never gonna make money doing it. I just like to do it because it's therapeutic, because it's fun.
That's
because
debatable.
Very debatable.
I just like to do it because it's therapeutic and because it's fun, not because I'm ever gonna get anything out of it. And I understand that, and I understand that's what I'm investing into it. I'm investing the time into it because it's self-care for me. Then no, it's not a waste of time. Just like gaming, if it's self-care for you, if it's something that you go to because it's therapeutic because it's a community for you, then by all means do it. Just don't let it take over your life. But that's with anything. Moderation is key with everything.
Yes, sir.
Any last thoughts on that?
Not directly to the game. Say, chat. Please, comment if I'm looking like a snack right now, because
he
as his
frozen.
camera froze up.
Yeah, he frozen up.
Here we go. I'm probably frozen an ugly face too. That's what I
Look like a hedgehog right there.
Yep.
I'm gonna say though, just one quick thing about gaming. You guys ever look like when you pull on Call of Duty where you put that well tell you the amount of time you put in it. You're looking at, I got 4 days. You kind of sit there and think like, man, that's a lot of time.
but then again, it's not.
What else would I be doing?
It's 4 days.
Right.
You got to think it's 4 days in the course of how long have you had the game?
Right.
Months. You see what I'm saying? So that kind of puts into perspective that okay, you really haven't been on that game that much. Because if it takes up what's a few hours here and there every day to add up to that 4 days and that those months of you having the game,
right,
it kind of just shows. But I don't know, man. I don't feel like gaming's a waste of time because that's like asking if is any hobby of yours a waste of time. But like everyone else said, bro, it's about how you manage your time. And I feel like do not put all your time into gaming. If you're calling off of work to game,
yeah,
you're pushing your
hey,
kids aside
nah,
to game.
I will this November or whenever Call of Duty comes out.
Stop it. If you're pushing your kids aside for games, if you're neglecting your family because you want a game and you're kind of using it to not socialize with people because you have some type of social anxiety, then maybe gaming is kind of not wasting your time, but taking over your time, and that's kind of a negative.
So do y'all think that gaming is a more productive use of time than say something like going out clubbing or partying?
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. Because not only is it safer, you are saving more money doing it. Because going out, people like think like going out is, bro, you gotta pay for gas, you gotta pay for where you go, you gotta pay for
Uber,
drinks, you gotta pay for food, you have to pay for everything. I will sit in my crib and I'll play Madden and just chill, and I'll play it and not spend a dime, and I can talk to all my friends and have that social interaction the same as going out. Especially when you're in a relationship, in a committed relationship, I feel like the going out scene. I'm not gonna speak on that because people go out for for all different reasons. You don't need to be going out there just to meet somebody, just to get that social interaction. But I'm not gonna say that staying in the gaming is better than going out, but I will say it is comparable, and you get the same out of it. I get the same out of that as somebody going out and partying and doing whatever they do to have fun, as sitting down and playing the game with my homies.
Yeah.
Okay. So our next topic is pop culture, and I want to go first on this. So the question is, who is an entertainer or who are entertainers who, in your eyes, so this is your opinion, are overrated?
Yes, sir.
And I have two people.
I say you say one.
I say one
first.
Okay.
And then you can get your
I think
one, and then your honorable mention.
Say my main one and an honorable mention.
Well, we'll do the honorable mention after we do the loop, because you might say
the loop. So I think Tiffany Haddish is very annoying. I do not like her comedy. I do not like her movies. I'm sure she's a nice person, but as an entertainer, as a source of entertainment, not speaking on her story is amazing, but just her and her comedy, way overrated in my opinion. I can't get with it, and it could just be me, but she is an overrated entertainer in my opinion. And
if Kevin Hart was here right now, he might be fighting.
He'll get jumped.
Very quickly.
I might as well go ahead and say it. My honorable mention is Kevin Hart. He's overrated in my eyes too.
Yes, sir.
Like his comedy style is all like self-deprecating
gimmick, bro. It's just a gimmick.
It's all, oh no, I wasn't ready, and all those noises and like body shaming himself. Like, I'm not into that. Like, I don't know. It could just be a different brand, a different taste in my opinion. But like those two people, their comedy style and the movies that they're in and all that, they're overrated. And man, there's stuff like when you're looking down 20 years down the line, you can be like, what is this junk? Like,
trash.
I'm about to go old Kevin Hart. I love old Kevin Hart, but the new definitely is a lot. There's a lot for me. I definitely agree with you there, but old Kevin Hart for me,
Flames.
I don't know. That was
Old Kevin Hart, man.
It was very funny.
He was alright. He was okay, bro. All I'm saying is he's a gimmick, man.
Ran out of jokes.
I will say he does have a targeted audience, and
it's becoming more and more.
He's feeding to a targeted audience, and they are just making his career thrive. And
I mean, I'm not hating his hustle. Like, no shame in his hustle, no shame in what he does, but like his art form.
I like him when he goes on First Take. He talk about, look, when you're a 4-time All-Star celebrity MVP like me.
Okay, like stuff like that is a little funny. Like stuff like that is funny. And
I feel like when
he said, yeah, he said,
but it's still a gimmick though, because he said, all right, hold on, all right.
Yeah.
Look, all right. Like, no, shut up.
I feel like when he's like not trying is when he's actually funny. When he like actually gets into his act, into a character, that's when it kind of turns me off.
All right. Look,
it's like that friend you had got that just tries to be funny on time that just gets annoying.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like you feel like you could do what he does. He's not doing anything. Like I feel like I look back and I look at jokes that Cat Williams makes, and I sit there and look like, bro, that is so funny.
How did he come up with that?
How did he come up with that? Why didn't I never think of that? Just like that whole another dial. Like, come on, bro. Like that stuff is hilarious to me. But all right, come look at this. Hey, come, man, shut your little wall up, man. Put a beep in there, Chris.
You didn't cuss.
Yeah, but it'll make that look a little bit more dramatic. It'll seem cool.
Yeah, for real. Make sure you bleep that.
Yeah, make a bleep. But Caleb, no, I do agree with you. I agree with both of those people that you've said. I would definitely put overrated on both of them.
I'll go ahead and say I really, this is hard for me because people that I just don't pay attention to be honest. But after doing some research, I guess I would have to say of all the people that people like and I don't really like is Adam Sandler. Just doesn't do it for me. I mean, he had some movies.
I'm sorry.
I know Kavan's gonna do. I know Kavan's gonna. Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan.
Nah.
It's his opinion.
It's your opinion. Yeah, it's your opinion, bro.
Hey, to our viewers out there, this is probably one of our most opinionated topics that we do. Which this is the thing about the Guys Podcast. We're just having a discussion and we're giving our own opinions on these topics. But what I will say is, Chris, you are tweaking. What do you mean he's overrated? What do you not like about him?
I just don't like his movies, really. I like a few of them, obviously the main ones.
Waterboy.
Yeah, Waterboy, 51st, and then Longest Yard. But that's really about it.
Big Daddy?
Big Daddy, no Billy Madison.
You didn't try to spit? You know.
I like Click.
You know what I'm saying? When he was
you got to look at his movie lineup, bro.
You got to look at his arsenal.
I'm looking at it right now.
Movies.
Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. Wow.
It wasn't doing it for me. I'm sorry, man. It's just an opinion.
What's that one, 51st Dates?
The Wedding Singer?
I like 51st.
He is Lil Nicky is one of his most underrated movies, but
Very.
Waterboy, man, you are asleep. You are asleep. You're trying to stir some controversy up.
Nah, no, like he legitimately. No, like
go ahead and flame him. Go ahead and flame him in the comments.
No, I legitimately just don't care for Adam
Flame
Sandler.
him in the comments, people.
I like Adam Sandler. I like him now, like when he goes on, and he's a musician now. I like him.
He's always been like that.
Yeah, I like.
You like Mr. Deeds? You probably don't even know what that is. My man's had a drinking fountain with fruit punch in his house. That made the movie. From that day,
bogus.
I said I want one in my house.
Yes.
I'm sorry, man.
Fountain with fruit punch?
It's just
I don't think you are.
Don't apologize for your opinion.
No, he just doesn't do it for me, man.
Wow. That's probably my top. He's in my top.
I know he is. That's why. Hey man, bless you. I don't dislike them. I just yeah.
No, that's fair. I like that one.
SNL.
That one brought a lot out of us.
Wow, that was surprising. You acting real Charlamagne the Goddess right now.
He just doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry. Like so I'm legitimately like I'm not joking either.
He
just doesn't do it for me.
Go ahead and just caption is Adam Sandler overrated ? And I bet you finna start a lot of controversy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Maybe overrated is not the right term, but he just doesn't do it for me.
So you come here next week, and I feel like I'm gonna have to have you over, and we're gonna have a binge night of Adam Sandler movies, so you can appreciate.
I'm gonna be sleep.
This man. Wow. Yes. All right. Hey,
I'm gonna be slept.
You know what? I forgot this is a PG. Never mind, man. Go ahead.
Man, I'm looking at his movies still.
Yes, it's endless. It's a.
And
don't forget what's it called? 8 Crazy Nights.
It didn't do it for me, man. It didn't do it. Bro, I'm sorry.
The music in it, come on.
I just didn't do it for me, man. I'm sorry. It's just not a huge guy.
Dude was having seizures and was farting. Like, come on, man. Excuse me.
All right, I'm going next.
Farted?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
No. I said something else.
Yeah, well, you gotta have to bleep that.
Are we still doing? We're just saving our second one.
Yeah.
Just go ahead.
All right. So I'm gonna say Logan Paul for me is my first. Honestly, I'm gonna say most YouTubers in general. I think like nowadays with the YouTube stuff is so just bad. Like I don't think I've ever watched a Logan Paul thing. I've honestly never gone out of my way to watch one, but I've seen his stuff and it's just not funny. It's not. It's just I can't relate to it at all. Definitely overrated to me. How he's worth? I was just looking up. He's worth like $19 million. It's ridiculous.
And he started off of Vine, bro. He started off of 6-second videos.
Yeah, I just
19 multi-millionaire.
That's a good point. I'll say PewDiePie. PewDiePie's trash.
Yeah. Did he say the N-word?
I think
he did say the N-word.
He did say the N-word.
He does like stuff just to like get rise out of people to make himself relevant again.
Yeah,
you feel me? I feel like he starts to fade away, and then he'll do something dumb like the suicidal stuff, at like in Japan, and then Antonio Brown.
Who was that? Jake Paul?
Huh?
No, that was Logan Paul.
Logan Paul. Sorry, his brother is Jake.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then I'm gonna put one out there, kind of like Chris did, and I just looked this one up just because I was kind of thinking it. Gordon Ramsay. I put that out there.
You don't like him?
Hey, I think I watch his stuff, but like if you like the amount of money this man like.
He's cold, bro.
Yes, bro. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Are we talking about his cooking?
No,
he can
cook anything. Literally.
No, I'm not talking about his cooking.
Okay.
I'm not talking about.
You're talking about his clout. You're talking about how he's presented. But he's cold, bro, and he's funny. He treats everybody.
All right, but look at this. There was a poll that was done, right, about whether or not he's overrated. Okay.
Yeah.
There's 134,000. Or here, I'll start off this way. There's 16,000 votes saying that he's not overrated. That's only 8%. And then there's 134,000. 68%.
I wasn't in that poll, bro.
And want to know what? Everybody who said he's overrated can't cook.
Exactly, bro. He always says it's raw. You gonna feed somebody?
I think, and then he gets kind of like hypocritical because like if you watch like some of his like the shows where like he like goes in and turns the kitchen around and whatnot, and then he gets mad at these like line cooks or head chefs or whatever when they get mad, like when they talk down to their other like
bro. But he'll tell them like who are you to talk?
Right. Bro, but he turn around and do the same thing.
He can and he can fight, bro. And he has the hands because he ain't talking to nobody like that if you can't got the hands.
Man, I hope so. Because there's gonna be one time he's gonna run into somebody gonna try him.
People have run up on him.
It was in one of those kitchen shows that you was talking about. He's trying to remodel the thing. It was like an Italian dude. He was not going, bro.
He called the family meeting.
He's like, what is?
Or a team meeting. It's treating dude.
Bro, he was treating dude.
He said, "Oh, you want to be a tough guy, huh? Everyone, meet up." He started treating dude in front of everybody.
I thought one threw a fish at somebody. It was an old fish. Man, he was stupid at him.
Man, he is hilarious, man.
He's funny, but I just think he can be overrated.
Man, hey, man, I see. I think he's ran with that. I see what you mean.
Yeah, like it's everything. He has that persona now that he feels like he just got carried out.
I see what you mean by that.
Anybody else got another one?
Oh, we can go now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Simple. Nicki Minaj.
Oh, we already knew that.
I agree.
Yeah.
She's butt.
Hey, yes, man. Thank you.
Hey, she did have pills and potions though.
Did she?
That wasn't really her. That was just the production.
Moment for life.
Did she have pills and potions, or did she have Young Money?
Exactly.
But she did have some bangers. But I cannot stand her. I can't stand her persona. I can't. She calls herself queen. It's just like, shut up, please.
Barbie. Get Barbie.
And Barbie, it's like, man, and then you body shame other people, yet you're plastic.
Check us out the last week. Bonus, the live episode. We talked about that. Yeah. We talked about that in the live.
So you are absolutely correct, bro. She's overrated in my book. I don't understand how she's the number one selling female for the record, or whatever she said in that Truffle Butter song, which was, but
I don't think she is anymore.
Cardi.
Yeah, Cardi.
Hey, so my overrated, my overrated guy, and it's someone that I honestly just can't stand. He's just the biggest cornball to me.
I know.
And I just cannot stand. I don't know why he's on so many shows. And that is Wayne Brady. I cannot stand Wayne Brady. I feel like he just, like, there's only one time he's ever made me laugh, and it was that skit on the Chappelle Show when he kidnapped Dave, and he was doing all that. That was like the one time it was funny. But Wayne Brady, he's been on so many shows, he hosts so many shows. They try to give him the Chappelle Show.
Are we talking about the same person?
Whose line is it anyways? Wayne Brady. I can't go with you. That man is talented, bro. Wayne Brady is talented as heck. Have you heard the man sing?
Yes, I don't like it.
Bro.
He's annoying.
The man can act, he can sing, he's a comedian.
Listen. First off, Chris, don't ever stand up and walk off on me for saying Wayne Brady when you said Adam Sandler. Don't ever do that.
I would do the same thing.
Wayne Brady?
You want to defend Wayne Brady, but you're
gonna, The Masked Singer? Whose line is it anyway? Okay, first of all, he gets a pass on everything else you're talking about because I don't even watch him in anything else. Whose line is it anyways?
Bro, that show was weak. They played it at 11 o'clock because nobody was watching it. On ABC Family. Come on now.
Right.
Nobody was watching that show, bro. If you were watching that show, you were bored. And Wayne Brady's annoying, bro.
That's true. That's facts. There was nothing else to watch.
Bro,
I couldn't even stay up that long, so
Wayne Brady is annoying. I can't stand him. He's overrated in my books, and I don't even think he's overrated. I feel like he shouldn't be rated at all. That's why he's overrated to me. He's in way too much stuff for me to be even. He's annoying to me, man. I'm sorry. You looking at me crazy, but you said Adam Sandler. I think the public's gonna go on my side saying Wayne Brady over Adams.
I got one that's more controversial than that. Clearly, Stephen A. Smith.
Boy, get out of here.
It's overrated. No.
I'm
not saying that he's not good. I'm saying he has too much clout.
Very much.
Because he is his whole persona, everybody knows it's an act.
And he acts like he's right all the time.
Yeah, and he acts like he's right all the time. Everybody knows it's an act. I'm not denying his knowledge of sports. I'm not denying his rise. But I feel like his rise.
Can I counter that though?
Level,
can I counter that? I wouldn't say it's an act. I honestly, his personality is just that way. Skip Bayless is clearly an act. So if you were to say someone's an act, yes.
But no, but what I'm gonna go off what Caleb's saying though. I don't like Stephen A. because he acts like he has all this inside scoop. Like he acts like
he acts like he's
reporter.
Like it's not public.
He acts like he's woke.
Like he's friends with literally everybody, and they're just telling them all their secrets.
Jay Farrow saying I spoke to him personally. He speaks to
KD, and that's why.
And then KD called him out. He's like, "Bro, you ain't talked to me."
You clown. Yeah, man, I'm agree. But let me give my couple honorable mentions. I'm gonna give a couple honorable mentions for these overrated entertainers, and that's gonna be all late night TV hosts, trash. Amy Schumer, trash. What's dude's name? From Howard Stern, trash. Mike Tomlin, trash. I said Mike Tomlin because you want to say Adam Sandler, bro. I'm gonna come at you, bro. You want to come at yours?
He said Mike Tomlin.
Nah.
Shout out Mike Tomlin, bro.
I can't go there with you.
Nah, I'm not talking about Mike Tomlin. I just had to get a rise from Chris because he said Adam Sandler, y'all. Please clown this man. Please let him know how idiotic that is to say that Adam Sandler is overrated. I can understand if you say
overrated is not the right word.
Exactly, because you can say that you don't like somebody, but they deserve what
it's not even that I don't like them. I just don't like. Just doesn't do it for me, man.
Well, hey.
Go ahead, Caleb. You can move it on.
All right. So not our last topic, but our next topic is relationships. And the question for this week is it necessary to get married after being together with someone for a long time? Kevon, let's start with you.
I would love to. So, actually, when I actually picked this topic, what I was thinking when I wrote this out was, for me, I've been in with my girl for like 5 years, going on 6, and we're not engaged, and I see a lot of other couples go through it to where they kind of get pressured into getting married. They feel like that, it's just natural progression that's just something that you do after being together for a long time. But I also see other couples say like, no, like that's not going to change what we have. That's not going to change our relationship. So that's what was going through my mind when I was writing this out, because there is two sides to it. My side on it is I do feel like it's necessary to get married. And there is a sub point. Is it necessary to get married after being together for a long time? And the sub note is, does it change anything, or is marriage just a piece of paper? And I feel like, marriage, like you can be with somebody and you're in an established relationship. I'm in an established relationship with my partner. We have 2 kids together. No, we are not engaged, but I do feel like marriage is definitely going to happen. I want it. I know she does. And it's not the fact that it's just this symbolic thing that you do. You know what I mean? It's not just something superficial. I feel like there is meaning behind it. Because there is a level between a girlfriend and a wife. Yes, my love isn't going to change for her. I'm still going to love her the same. But it's just a different type of energy, you know what I mean? Like it's just a different type. It's a different energy. Like Dave's the only one that's married in this conversation. It's different when your girlfriend goes. It's different from saying that's my girlfriend or that's my girl. That's wifey. To saying that's my wife.
Right.
To everyone in your family having the same last name.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It is weight to it. So I don't think that marriage is just a piece of paper. A lot of people think that getting married isn't going to make their relationship stronger. They're still the same. But I feel like it's a different type of energy when you guys
absolutely
come together and you guys make that, and everyone in that family has the last name. It's a stepping stone, bro. I'm sorry. I don't think it's very necessary. Like, I don't think like you have to get married just to make your relationship, put the hammer on your relationship.
Yeah, don't think getting married is going to save your relationship.
Yeah, and it's not even the fact of saving it, but like it's not the whole thing about saving it, but a lot of people do get
you.
married for the wrong reasons. For that, they get pregnant or their family pushes them into getting married, and sometimes like you can be with someone for a really long time and you guys aren't ready to get married. You guys aren't supposed to be together. And I feel like when you do get married, it's just that final commitment to like, look, like I want to be with you and let's make this forever. Let's become one. Because once you put those rings on each other's fingers, everything's conjoined. And then you got the legal aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys sharing the financial situation it's all in one. You're coming together. So just I can keep going on, but I do feel like it's not uh I really don't know how to wrap
Yeah,
to sum my answer up. Go crazy for
I
me.
can go. So, from my perspective, I don't think it's necessary for to be with someone for a long time and to get married because it's a necessity. What I will say is that although being married to someone just because you're with them for a long time is not a necessity, I do feel that you should date with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So you shouldn't be with someone who you can't see yourself marrying. So um, I just don't think that you should be with someone. You should even start a relationship with someone who you don't feel you could get there with,
Right.
because it's just going to be you just perpetually going in this cycle with this person that you don't feel lives up to that potential. So although it's not necessary and it's actually can be a bad thing to marry someone just because you've been with them for a long time, I do feel like it should be the end goal to be married to someone. But that's just my religious background talking and what I believe spiritually, uh, from my standpoint. So I would never be with someone, even though I've been in a 3 4 year relationship and we're not married yet. That's what we're working towards. And I'm not going to get married to her because it's a necessity, but I will, if we do get to that point, we'll get to that point because we both understand that's what we're working towards, not because it's necessary, but because that's the goal. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
For me, it's a lot of different opinions on this one. I think that marriage is a symbol. I think that it is a commitment, and not that you can't be committed without marriage, but marriage is expressly a commitment. Not even like religiously, by law, it's a commitment, and it just takes it to another level of, I think, just trust and faith in one another. I'm probably in the minority in that I think that Caleb, I'm the same as Caleb. Like I will only date someone if I feel like I can marry them, and I feel like waiting the longer you wait, the more like uneasy a relationship can get. On top of the fact that I just think that life's too short to be trying to like should I not, because like people like it seems like weird like more and more as we get older, like we see like how precious life is and how short it can be, and like anything can happen. And I would just hate for me to be in a situation where I made the mistake of not making that commitment to someone, on top of the fact that the security in that, like beneficiaries, if you have life insurance, all that type of things, just not being set, and just committed to the person that I knew I should have been with all along. And I want to hear what you got to say.
Nah, man, y'all didn't say everything y'all got to say, man. I agree with y'all. Like, I feel like you should get married. I don't think it's just a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And I feel like it has to be the right person. So if it takes a long time, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, love can be misleading. So
That is true, bro. But I'm gonna let Dave go before I start talking again, because Dave is the only married person in this group of 5 right now, and he can probably show a lot of perspective on this.
Some would argue it could be 2 or 3, but
But
honestly, for this topic, I feel like I don't know. I think Caleb made a great point. And with him saying that definitely a relationship should be leading towards marriage. And honestly, like when you said that like religion, that could just be your religious side talking. I think that could be everyone's. No, even if you're not religious, because the big point really is it's just like if you're not dating, then what's the point? There's no point. I don't think there is. At that point, it's just a fling. You're just hooking up, basically. Um, whatever. So, but I will say,
I'm sorry.
Come on,
Come on,
stop,
plays
man.
way too much.
Come on, bro.
Nah.
I'm not doing anything.
You can't get away with that.
Oh my god!
You thought we just gonna bust out laughing for no reason? Nah, it was Kavan.
No, but I would say definitely like just in my perspective when I first honestly before me and Brooke, we found out she was pregnant before we got married. And I could actually have her mom contest in this, is that I was actually talking to her mom before I even knew about marrying Brooke, and whether or not I would have their permission and whatnot. So for me, it was just all timing. And then when it did happen, that Brooke told me she was pregnant, I was like, well, at this point, we've been dating for 5 years. It's time to just do it. I felt like that was definitely the point where it was like, man, like she's gonna have my kid. I've already had these feelings. There's no one else I want to be with. So for me, it was just obvious. But I feel like until you have that feeling of just it really is just obvious. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I just just don't rush into it. Definitely like what you guys have been saying is just if you don't feel like you're not at that point, then you're not at that point. Even if you have other stuff that's telling you that you should, even if you have, say you don't have kids but you live together and you have two religious families that completely disagree. That's a big thing with relationships. I feel like the whole living together thing, because you have the one side that says, how do you know if you should marry somebody if you're not compatible? You haven't even lived with each other yet. Like what if we start living together and it doesn't work out? And then you have the side that says we shouldn't because we're not married. So I mean, I just think there's different ways that people go about it to figure out if they're ready for marriage, and until you figure that out, then you should definitely wait, because it's a big commitment. It's a huge commitment. And once you go back, it's not something that you can just take lightly and take it back.
Yeah.
So do you think it can ruin a relationship if one person in a relationship is ready to get married and one isn't?
Yeah,
absolutely. Just because if you're pushing that person and that person, you're just on different levels completely, than that person who is ready to get married, and you guys, let's say you got married and you're not really ready for it, then that person who's just like, they're just gonna have nothing but regret. And I think that, and regret in itself could definitely ruin the whole relationship, especially if that person finds out who was ready, finds out that the other person wasn't ready, or they're kind of regretting it. Then I think that's hard to come back, get over. You got to figure it out at that point.
Yeah, but even if the fact they don't get married though, and say that my girl wants to get married but I don't, it will kind of make her feel a little insecure about herself, because it's like, man, like why would he not want to marry me?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's another thing though, and because it's just going back to the fact of saying that marriage is just a piece of paper. I don't think it is. I'm not married. I'm not even engaged, but I feel like, in my head, it's just a matter of time, and which I don't think it should be that. And like you said, Dave, you shouldn't rush into it. But then again, like, I don't want to say it's necessary, but you just gotta feel what you're feeling in your relationship. You're gonna know what you want, and you're gonna know what step is that you need to take. But the fact of saying that marriage is just a piece of paper, I don't think it is. I think once me and my girl love each other, but it's just a different type of energy when them rings go on the finger. I'm sorry, it's a different type of energy when that woman has your last name. It's a different type of energy when you're sitting there looking at your sons with the same last name as you, and your kids don't have the same last name as your girl. And it's like, man, you know what I mean? It's kind of, but to say this, bro, you know what I'm saying? just wrap it up a little bit. Don't be with someone because you can see yourself with them. Be with someone that you can't see yourself without.
Okay.
That was deep.
That was deep. So
what? I miss my girl now.
So what
Like
I
real
will say,
facts, though.
what I will say is that, like you said, Kavan, timing is everything. It's like for me, I've been with my significant other for 3+ years, and right now we're in a stage where we can't physically be together. She's in St. Louis. I'm in Dallas Fort Worth. But once this stage is over, we're gonna have to start thinking about what's next. Like, is it the time to start thinking, taking the next step into, taking the next step of commitment? Because, like you said, timing is everything, and sometimes it's just not the right time. It's not the right season for you to take that next step, to take that jump. And for me right now, I know it's not the time, but I can definitely see within the next year to 2 years where it's like, it's, I mean, what are you waiting for? It's not really, there's not really a question about if this is someone you can see yourself with. It's more of a question of my insecurities and my fears with being with someone, and that's really,
and that's what goes into my point.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what I mean, no, I'm sorry,
and it goes into my point of saying, like, it's, you definitely don't want to rush into it. But like you said, Kate, there's a time where you just, the timing doesn't line up, but there's a time where it's like, okay, it's time to make those decisions. Is it go time? And I feel like a lot of times, like, people get stuck in that, and that's what leads to the downfall of the relationship, is like when it gets to a crossroad and it actually hits you, like, oh wow, like it's now or never, basically. That can affect your future. For instance, Caleb, like, I don't want to go too deep into your relationship, but like when you're done with your undergrad, it's like, okay, that's a crossroad. We have to make a decision of if we're gonna make a step together, or we're gonna continue to try to like create our own paths separately and keep it going. So I can only imagine being in that exact situation of like the timing just being like a huge point of contention.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely has to do with timing and with understanding that we're both young. Like, we both have a lot of life to live ahead of us, hopefully. And I would never want to be the reason why she couldn't pursue her dream and pursue her opportunities that she has for her. And the same, she doesn't want to force me to be where she's at because I have opportunities here. So we definitely had to talk of, is it just time to say, hey, we had a good run? But it's like Kavan said, it's someone you can't see yourself without. And so in the time, we just have to understand that it's not our time right now, but in the next year, 2 years, we're going to have to figure something out, whether we're both together, whether we just kind of fade off, because it's definitely coming a season where we both feel like we're ready, but the timing just isn't there. And for me personally, I'm just gonna say, like, I feel like I'm really young, and there's definitely some insecurities and some fears there with doing that too early. She's probably not gonna listen to this, so we're good. But I just feel just
because you said that she will, and she'll just feel it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not that I don't love her. It's not that I don't want to take that next step. It's just, for me, like, I'm 23, and you're
almost
really,
a quarter century, man.
Yeah, but it's really like it's.
Let me break it down for you this way, Caleb. Life expectancy, let's round up 75, right? So
79.
We'll round up. It was 72.
For black men, it's
no. It's 79.
So we'll round up to 75, right? We'll round it to 75.
We'll meet in the middle, 75 for sure.
We'll go 75, right, Caleb? So in a year and a half, you'll be 25, right? That's a third, and you really got to break your life into the third: the growing up, the living, and then the downfall. So really, if you think of it that way, Caleb.
I mean, that's true. It's just
it might be about that time, Caleb.
Hey,
Chris, don't make me think like that.
Well, most of our parents, like, think about the different generations of how most people how we view it now. Whereas when like our parents are growing up and when I at 18 years old, 19, it was not normal, you know what I mean, for people to be married. They were married right out of high school. I know my parents were.
Yeah,
like,
but they were buying houses for like $20,000.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? They're buying cars for $5,000. So it's kind of and that's another thing that plays in roles, bro. Is the financial situations? Because I feel like, man, I would rather establish a good life right now by buying a house and making sure that my financial situation is top tier before I go out and do this wedding, because it's not all about having a nice fancy wedding, but then again there's tradition to wedding or to marriage. And like what Caleb was saying, bro, like how you're saying, you don't think you say that you don't be with someone if you don't think that you will marry them. And you said that you don't think that you're ready for it now, but in 2 years you figure that it'll be time. But between those 2 years, you're consciously in your mind analyzing your whole relationship to think, man, is this going into the direction of marriage? So our mind is telling us and calculating stuff by itself all the time. And when you know, basically, when you know.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's gonna take that long, but I'm just saying right now in the stage of our relationship, like it's gonna take at least a year for us to be in a place where we can actually be physically together. And I don't see me proposing and trying to marry a girl who's halfway across the country at this point in time.
He's trying to throw the curveball, y'all. He's trying to.
Other thing I think too, Kevon, what you were talking about with like how you want to make sure like you got everything financially, like you want to be stable, you want to make sure you got everything before, like just basically in order before you make that big commitment.
And that was a personal reason too. So
okay,
other people might do it in a different pattern. That was just my personal
right. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying though, like a big part like that would be like just like in growing together. That's a big thing with some people with like marriage. It's just starting from that point where you're both just working really hard, trying to achieve your goals together and just doing all that stuff together, and getting to that level.
Because if you can survive the grind, bro, and you can get through that in that, now you're in the cruise mode.
Because what's the biggest thing with the relationships when you're together is money.
Grinding,
it's hard. Stressful.
Yep, if you can get through that, bro, you can pretty much get through everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a doctor, so we gonna be straight.
Hey, we gonna be
straight. What you say, Caleb?
I said I'm marrying a doctor. We gonna be straight.
Yes, sir. hey, we gonna tell y'all when I'm married. Just know I'm straight.
All right, so let's move on to our outro. Our one gotta go.
Hey, before we do that, Caleb, one thing. I just wanna let you know this podcast is brought to you in part by Gatorade. Very nutritious and very high.
Nutritious.
Very nutritious and very hydricious.
That's high in vitamin C and riboflavin.
Oh goodness.
We're also sponsored by Yankee Candle.
Nah, y'all know the true sponsor, because if I ever make it, this legitimately will be my sponsor. Great Value.
You ain't lying. Hey, Great Value. I was just thinking about. I just had some of those fruit snacks, them Smiles.
Tropic? They gotta be the tangy.
Nah, they're too hard for me. They're not chewy. They don't like compared to those Welch's. Compared to those Welch's ones, they're like dry.
They got a thickness, bro, but they got some flavor.
And half the price.
That's like the only Great Value. That's the only Great Value product I can't rock with is those Fruit Smiles.
Oh, you're tweaking. Hey, can I go ahead and bring us to the one gotta go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so guys, one gotta go. Last segment of the night. So one gotta go was wrote by yours truly. I mean, it's been a trending thing that I've been writing the outline out because people get lazy.
I love the way you expand your mind. Like,
I'm not trying to take nobody's clout or anything, but I got some ideas. So today is one gotta go, and we are gonna do the Actors Edition, Black Edition. And I mean, don't. It's not really a race thing. It's just happened to be everybody in this segment is black. It wasn't on purpose, but I don't know. It's not a big deal, right? Black History Month. Let's get it. So our 4 people is Will Smith, number 1, Denzel Washington, number 2, Samuel L. Jackson, number 3, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for the number 4. And I'm gonna go ahead and start it off by taking off my first person that is a must keep for me, and that's definitely gonna be Will Smith, untouchable.
Facts.
Okay, so for me, it's gonna be Denzel, untouchable.
Those are the top 2 for sure, hands down.
I'm gonna go last.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, Kavad. Will Smith is, you can't touch Will Smith.
You can't touch him.
Not even.
And can I say why you can't touch him? Can I just put out one movie why you can't touch him?
Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna let Chris answer it for me.
Look,
No.
I know you talking about the movie. Will Smith is not my number 1. Denzel is my number 1, but Pursuit of Happiness.
Thank you.
7 pounds.
But have you seen John Q?
I've seen all of Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington's my number 2.
The Book of Eli.
I don't know if I like
Book of Eli, bro. I've never seen the Book of Eli until literally like last year. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Why did I wait so long to watch that movie?
Yes.
That movie was so lit. Then he was blind.
Was it Flight?
Right.
Bro, did that happen? Was that a religious movie?
Yes.
That was that was.
Yeah.
He was trying to use the Bible.
Bible.
Yeah, he was trying to use the Bible to enslave the white guy. I'm pretty sure he was trying to use the Bible to enslave the people. So he was trying to find the last Bible on Earth, essentially. I'm not gonna give away the plot.
Oh, that movie was absolutely amazing. I don't know why it took me so long to watch that. Flight, another great movie,
bro.
I don't know old movies.
You mean the tail lead?
I don't know if Pursuit of Happiness or John Q. I don't know which one's better, bro.
So I'm just gonna go ahead.
Where he saves it, or holds the hospital hostage.
Yes.
Look,
I don't.
This
I'm
list
just gonna
is
go
insane.
Ahead. Let's just cut to the chase. Dwayne's got to go.
He's got to go.
let's just cut to the chase.
Look,
man.
I'll give you 3 reasons. Coach Carter, The Pursuit of Happiness, and how many do you want me to list for Denzel?
Denzel has
Remember the Titans, Book of Eli. I'm looking right here. This is insane. John Q.
Wasn't John Q based off a real? I relate more with Will Smith because Pursuit of Happiness, bro. I'm Legend, Hancock.
The movies that you just watched.
It's
and
just
the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I just love Will Smith. I just like him.
One of the best rerun shows of all time is The Fresh Prince.
Who is the greatest black actor ever? Well, in our generation.
Denzel.
Yes.
You got to go Denzel.
Have you seen
talent, acting wise, talent?
I will give it to him for talent wise because I will say Will Smith acts the same in a lot of his movies. I just like Will Smith.
I just saw Gemini Man. Better than I thought.
I wanted to see that.
It was alright.
It wasn't bad.
But no. Can we stop? Because Caleb said something that said Dwayne has to go. I don't think Dwayne has to go.
Dwayne has. What do you lose?
I'm gonna say Samuel L. Jackson has to go because The Rock, bro, that is my childhood. The Rock.
We're not talking about wrestling, bro.
I'm not talking about wrestling either. But his movies are absolute fire.
The Tooth Fairy.
Runaway.
No.
Samuel L. Jackson is in the Marvel universe as well.
Have you seen?
He plays
Coach Carter.
G.I. Joe, Tooth Fairy.
Lakeview Terrace by Samuel Jackson.
Snakes on a Plane.
Hey, if you watch Lakeview Terrace,
bro, y'all sleeping on Dwayne.
Shaft?
I think he might be the number one paid actor in the world.
He is the highest grossing actor. But really, in my opinion,
that's just recently.
The only movie on this list that I see that is absolute fire is Moana. That is the only movie on this list of him in that is fire. And I'm not. That's.
You know what, Kavan?
You gotta look up their lineups, bro.
I'm looking at his lineup right now.
Okay, so I'm basing it on skill of acting. and it's not close. But if you think about just bangers, I think Dwayne could go toe to toe with Samuel actually.
But it's not. I don't think Samuel's acting powers is that much better than The
Whoa,
Rock's,
whoa.
bro. He acts the same in movies, but all he does is act overly aggressive and he swears.
Look, man, if you put out
Coach Carter-
Baywatch, you took a L. You took a L.
What?
Ever since Baywatch, I'm like, yeah, he's reaching. He's
I mean,
Baywatch.
that's,
he's making the cash. He's making the.
yeah. I mean, you can't really.
You said what, Dave?
Dave, give us some
Jumanji,
insight.
I haven't seen
You didn't like
either
Jumanji?
Jumanji.
Trash.
Not even the first one.
I haven't seen either. The original Jumanji is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay,
Chris,
yes, that's
you'd
what I
be
was saying.
highly disappointed.
Yeah, that's why I haven't watched
funny.
it.
It was funny because Jack Black.
Oh
Jack Black,
yeah.
he was a highlight.
I ain't gonna lie, Central Intelligence was hilarious with Kevin Hart and The Rock.
Yeah, and that's another thing when we go back to Kevin Hart, bro. Kevin Hart's not funny, but in his movies, he is kind of funny, bro. But bro, look at all these movies right here, man. I'm
gonna agree with you, Ron.
like, look at this. All the Fast and Furious, Central Intelligence, Fast and Furious, Jumanji, Hercules, Moana, The Scorpion Kings, The Rundown,
The Scorpion King is my favorite movie by The Rock.
Walk Tall,
He's got a variety. He can do a lot of different things. That's why I'm
G.I.
at
Joe,
the Rock.
Gridiron Gang. So you're telling me what movie? Okay, listen to me. So you're telling me that
Hey, you swayed
Okay.
me. I'm good.
Samuel is in Star Wars, bro. He's in
Yes.
the Marvel universe.
Never mind. He is in Star Wars.
He's in Django.
He is in Star Wars.
Glass.
He is in Star Wars.
He's not the main character in any
But
of those
he's-
movies.
he's
that
an
you
He's
see.
an integral part of Star Wars.
No, he's
Good
not.
point. Good point.
He's not in Marvel neither. So you can't say that. Like you
Yeah,
can't.
like-
He's Fury. Isn't he Fury?
He's Fury, bro.
He's gonna
Marvel-
be.
Bro,
He's one of the main characters going forward now.
you.
Now,
I'm
He's
just gonna,
Shaft.
yeah,
Nah.
I will say though, I agree with Kevon. Most of his movies, he is in a lot of those ones you just listed. He is just he's not a main character. He's not.
there, bro. Like The Rock
Yeah.
has Empire State,
He's never like a couple
San
others,
Andreas,
so-
Skyscraper.
All the same movie.
It's all the same.
Hey,
action
he's like
movie. He
he's
makes
like
the
Chris.
same action
He's
movie.
like Chris Brown in 2012.
Yeah, he puts out
This-
hits,
the
but
same
but
exact-
it's not because of his skill. It's because marketing. They market The Rock really well, so his movies do really well.
And
It's
he's
not
a
that-
genuinely really good person.
Yeah, he's a good guy,
Yeah.
and like he's.
Rest in
acting
peace to
skills,
his
I'm not
man,
gonna say-
his pops too. Just passed
I'm
away.
not gonna say he's a bad actor, but he's in the same type of action movie, kind of a PG-13 action movie.
You gotta talk about
with the
Star
same
Wars
plot.
and Avengers, bro. The Fast series goes crazy too, bro. That's a big series. to
Isn't
be in.
Samuel in one of those series too? He's in like he's in Triple X. Never mind.
But what about Gridiron Gang though?
That's
I
true.
have to refresh my memory. I remember the movie. That's not what I'm saying.
What-
I had
what
to
do you say,
rewatch it.
87 for life.
No, he said you a got 88.
Oh,
Hey, so pick a movie for me, Ant. This is a question for Ant, and then I'm gonna go ahead to Dave because I'm already gonna know what you two on the top say. Well, my screener on the top, and that's Caleb and Chris. Gridiron Gang or Coach Carter?
Gridiron Gang.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Gridiron Gang in a long time.
That's just because.
So you
that-
you both are taking
Oh
Gridiron.
no, I'll take
That's
Gridiron.
because.
I'll take
that's
Gridiron.
just a football
100%.
movie.
No.
Okay, so I'm sorry, bro. I feel like Coach Carter's Samuel's best movie. So you're telling me
I'll take Gridiron.
So you're
I
telling
wasn't a
me
huge
that-
fan of Coach Carter. That's all we watched on the buses going to games. Is Coach Carter.
So you're telling me. So that should wrap it up right there.
But it wasn't The Rock that I thought made Gridiron Gang such a good movie.
Yeah, it was the big dude.
Okay.
It was the big dude, the Hawaiian looking dude, the Kavan looking dude.
He looked like
David looked
David,
Hawaiian.
and David grew his hair.
Yeah, David look Hawaiian, bro. He don't look like me. Hey, Buddy was that was a real dude too.
What was his
Junior?
name? Junior?
Junior, yeah. Hey, don't forget about Dwayne Johnson's Rampage movie though.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I gotta rewatch
Y'all
Green Lantern.
sleeping, man. San Andreas, Skyscraper. Come on, man. I'm done. Like I said, Samuel L. Jackson, I love you, bro, but you gotta go. Ooh, but I forgot about Snakes on a Plane.
I'm telling you, go watch Lakeview Terrace.
I don't know.
You know we had we had cable. That was the only DVD.
Hey, and we gotta look. Hey, and the what's in your wallet?
Hey, stop, because the way the Rock guys got a little bit too much extra stuff on the side.
Yeah, I was gonna say we ain't gonna go there. My man was the youngest WWE champion, held it for the longest time. Boy,
come on.
That's not wrestling. That's not acting.
That's not wrestling.
Oh yeah, it is acting. You're right. He low key might be coded.
Tears. I've seen this. Ant when he was the cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this. I've seen this on Netflix.
So fire, bro.
This one of those old black movies, bro.
Go ahead, Caleb.
Yeah.
I just
ain't like it,
but that's gonna do it for the guys podcast. Thank y'all for staying around this long. It's been what, hour 30?
Wait.
Hour 15.
Can we come to a conclusion on what that one gotta go? So
No, I'm not
one
gonna
vote for
concede.
Sam.
The Rock gotta go for me.
I'm saying The Rock gotta go.
The Rock gotta go.
Conceding.
I thought I had y'all on my team.
You have me swaying.
What you say, Dave?
I said, Kavon's got me. I got
it. That's your uncle. I knew it. That's your uncle. I knew it. I knew he was going to sway to his side.
Come on, gang.
This has been the Guys Podcast. Thank y'all for listening. Staying this far. Hour 20, hour 15. Love y'all. Tune in next week. Peace.
Hey, leave us some feedback.
Please.
Thank
you.